That is right, guys. Welcome back to Season 2 here of Non-League 2 Premier League with Bath City. And boy, do I have a lot to catch you up on. As you can see, we've already played our friendlies and we're at our first league game, which is going to be against Braintree. But a few things I need to catch you up on. So first of all, if I pop into my team here, this is the kind of lineup you're probably used to seeing from me. Now, I know I said I wouldn't overhaul the squad, but I have made 10 plus signings. If I go to pick without rotation, pick best 11, you're going to see a lot of new different names in there. I'm going to try and give context to each and every one of these signings that I can. Starting off in there with Casagrande. This is a very realistic signing for Bath for numerous reasons. The main reasons being Bath emergency loaned Casagrande more times than I can count. Whenever Harvey Richards got injured or a red card before we signed Binns, Casagrande seemed to be the guy that we loaned in all the time as quick cover, and he did well for us. And on the other hand, Harvey Richards was part of the Bristol City youth squad before he signed for Bath. He got released and we signed him, and it's very similar because Casagrande on this game got released, so I've signed him. So it's almost a replica of when Bath signed Harvey Richards. The point of this signing is I think I want to put Binns on loan and get him more starting time and hopefully watch him get better. But Casagrande is younger than all of them and better than all of them. So this guy will probably be our starting keeper for at least a season, if not longer. Secondly here, we have Avon Jones. Now, his signing originally was just to replace Gibbons, because Gibbons, when we signed him, he was an emergency signing. He was just a backup to Reigns, wasn't going to get that much game time, and he's quite old. Avon Jones came up, and it's going to be between him and Reigns fighting for that position. But apparently, Reigns in this league is a lot worse than Avon Jones is. Instead of that partnership, I'm proud to say it's still better than pass out. And I'm hoping they can keep up their good form they had last season in the National League. The new left-back signing here in Anthony Georgiou. He is signed as Danny Greenslade's replacement, but in reality, he is also signed as Keto Diarra's replacement. Now, you'll remember I signed Keto to play left-back and take Danny's place, and it probably turns out he's better higher up the pitch, Keto. So I brought in Georgiou to replace those spaces. Once again, the spine of the team is staying very much the same with Russ and Tilton in defence and midfield. On the right is still Alves, down the middle still Jenkins-Davies, and on the left we have a new guy called Ryan Jones. Now he's a guy who can play wing back, midfield, left, or attacking midfield right and left. A good all-round player for our level. Probably not quite good enough for this league, but I don't think most of my team are. But good enough for my squad and my team for just getting promotion. 24 years old, he'll be a handy signing with Windsor still up top. Now, to be honest, the reality is I might be playing Jones where Alves is and Windsor down the left, because I have a different striker who I introduce you into shortly, who I think is going to be game changing for us. Continuing down the team, familiar names: Wiles Richards, Greenslade, who I'm trying to sell, Ash, who I'm also trying to sell, and my new starting striker, Paco Avoki. This guy just looks brilliant. 23 years old, dribbling, finishing, first touch, heading, determination, ability, jumping reach, pace as well. Off the ball, he looks like he's going to be absolutely brilliant for us, and I can't wait to use him. We now finally get into some rotation for my two defensive mids, which we struggled with last season. Only really having Sweeten who could play there. We've now brought in Anjal Warrior, a 22-year-old Botswanan DM, signed up because we need that rotation. A previous wonder kid in Ryan Seeger, who used to play for Southampton, and when he was younger, he was a next big thing. Obviously, he's not quite made that, but hopefully he can do well on our team. And I saw some stats the other day that he scored something ridiculous, like 18 goals in his last 8 games in real life. For, is it Walton Hersham he plays for? Someone like that, I can't remember. Another player, Lennon Peake, he is just signed as the rotation player for both the right and left hand attacking slots. Box standard player. Lewis Sweden here has been demoted to the under-21s. I want to keep him in and around the squad. I am partly tempted to loan him. Byron now brought in as a rotation for Parcel mainly at that left centre-back role. Also could play left-back. Dolling was brought in to be one of our new strikers. But this was before I saw Boki. Now, Dolling does look like a good striker and he's great in game, so we'll keep an eye on him. Next up, Oyolike, a 33-year-old defensive midfield rotation, not likely to be brilliant for my team. But, you know, with the amount of cups in the packed out fixtures we had last season, I went for squad depth, which is what I promised you I would do. Gibbons here, who I am trying to sell, and has picked up another injury. Hopefully I can get rid of him. Armin here has gone out on loan to a team in Cyprus called THOI in Cyprus. He just wasn't going to play in our team, barely played last season, but I look at him and his stats, especially his mental and physical, look good. His technical's not great, so I'm hoping he's going to get some game time out there and make good of what he's got. Charlie Binns, I'm trying to put out on loan. Beardmore, who's been unbelievable the end of last season, and to be honest, in pre-season, as I'll show you in a minute. And then 4 names you'll recognise: Rains, Tomlinson, Zach Smith, who I kept on, who's back from injury, just a bit of depth, he probably won't see the pitch that often, and Fisher, who I'm only keeping around because I, the same as Martin Horsell, want Fisher to become one of our coaches. So that is a quick squad update. I'll quickly update you on our pre-season here. This was a 2-1 loss somehow to Flint Town. 2 early goals, but Packer Avoki scoring on his debut. We then went in against Bracknell, where we won 4-0, and you'll see Rich Beardmore getting 2 goals and Josh Dolling getting 2 goals. So a great start for both of my strikers getting goals on their starting debuts. We then came up against Denby Town, which we won 4-1. You'll see Avoki scored again. Rich Beardmore's in there again. We then had Jack Batten's testimonial, where to be honest we just got battered by Bristol City. And then our last friendly was a jam-packed friendly. It finished 2-0 with Avoki getting 2 goals. So you'll see in the pre-season he scored a total of 4 goals in I think 4 games played. But he also had a goal disallowed for offside in the first 5 minutes. But Pennybond also had a goal disallowed in injury time. So that game ends 2-2. So we're heading into our first game of the season here. And I am going to play the likes of Casa Grande in goal, Evan Jones, and Partal and Georgiou, Luke Russ and Tilson, Elbers, Beardmore, Peake and Windsor. I don't agree with that lineup. Where is my boy Avoki? He's going to come on for, I think, Alves. And I'll put Peake out on the right, Windsor out on the left, and my boy Avoki up top. He's going to rip up the league this season. I can feel it in my veins. So here we are, the first game of the National League, Season 2 here with Bath City. Now we are looking to avoid relegation really this season. But last season we only expected mid-table and did get promotion. So we will see what we can do here in Season 2. No, it doesn't look like a bad start there. I know we're only 2 minutes in, but having 70% of the ball is looking good. I'm looking for a dominant team display here. Beardmore could be the surprise package. He has been so far in pre-season, scoring 3 goals, I think, in 3 games. And hopefully he can keep that into the season, especially with Jenkins Davies out, who was a player who didn't impress me much anyway. And Beardmore lays that down for Avoki. And now I am talking about Beardmore and how good he is, and how Avoki is going to win this league for us. And that's unbelievable. Parcel to Jones there. A ball over the top. Beardmore just being that defence, and he finds the time to chest it down to Avoki. A first time finish. And boy, when I say I remember the name Paco Avoki, please do, because within the opening 10 minutes of his league debut, he's already got a goal, and Beardmore continues in fine form, which he puts up at the end of last season and brings it into Season 2. I'm glad that the core of the team is pretty much the same, that Tilton, Russ, Partal and Batten are the solid structure with Beardmore even in the camp spot, or Jenkins Davies when he plays there. I've just seen that apparently Wins has picked up an injury already early on into the season. Does it tell me what might be a potential upper body injury? So hopefully it's not too bad. I'm tempted to bring on Ryan Seeger, but I'm also very tempted by Kenny Diarra here. Seeger is going to be the boy. The ex-Wonder kid now finds himself in Bath City in the middle of tour. You probably didn't expect that when he was in the Southampton Youth Academy. But saying that, I think when I used to play in a five-a-side league, there was a lot of Southampton youth team advertisement and stuff around. And we all know that their youth academy does produce a lot of talent, Southampton. But they come Braintree on the attack, they managed to get inside, and somehow they put that wide. I would have hoped if that was on target, Casagrande would have had it covered. And it's been a slow but steady start here from Bath. Really, we're dominating the game, continuing our good form. Hopefully all these new signings are going to slowly integrate themselves into the team and become a unit rather than individual players. It's quite a big overhaul for me, really. I mean, out of the starting 11, 6 of them are new and only 5 are old team players. But you'll see I've kept a lot of the original squad around, and they're all going to get a lot of game time, to be honest. The biggest changes were where they were needed, I feel, up front, where we weren't scoring many goals last season, and the wing-back positions. Because Reigns and Greenslade, to be fair, was probably our player of the season last season, or one of at least. Is that Beardmore for a VK again? Almost. Greenslade and Beardmore probably our player of the season really last season. But we knew I wanted to replace Greenslade anyway, and that's why I brought in Keto Diarra. And Reigns is here and there an average player, but he doesn't look good enough for this league. And he was an urgent replacement, but he will be the main backup right back for us anyway. We look to get rid of Gibbons. We're heading to our second half with a comfortable 1-0 lead, really. Beardmore and Voki are really connecting well up top. The rest of the team not really getting into the game, but there's not been many highlights. But I'd say we've been struggling to score, and you'll see it again. 12 shots, 6 on target, with only 1 goal. Isn't really good enough in my eyes. But all that matters is we're winning games, especially in this new league, where really the fight to stay in the league and avoid relegation is probably our main target, at least as we assess what happens with the new squad in the first 10 to 15 games. But we passed the 60-minute mark here, and we are on total domination, but not putting anything away. And that's disappointing to see. I'm glad Avoki's got his goal. He did have that second big chance that was saved, but really he should be slotting that away as well. But there's not too much pressure on the team. After this highlight, I will look to make a sub or two with my right-hand side quite tired, both Jones and Peake. And the tiredest in the squad, but that's Jones to Russ. To Beardmore now, what's he going to do? I'm telling you, this boy, out of nowhere, has become a very important figure, and he suits what we want from that attacking mid-roll to a T. First, his assist, where he broke the line and chested it down, and secondly, his goal. He just takes that down onto his weaker left foot, past the keeper, to put us 2-0 up. I will be taking my time to make these subs. First of all, Jones needs to come off. We haven't got a direct replacement on the bench. I could move Batten across, or I could play someone out of position. And to be honest, let's bring on our boy Ria. And I think I'm going to drop Russ, because in real life he plays a bit of right back Russ, and bring on that defensive option. Peake looking to come off here. Out on the right, we'll give Alvarez a chance. Nobody else on the bench I quite want to bring on yet. Excuse me. I will reassess with about 10 minutes to go. Make sure Foki gets a bit of a rest. Keto will come on up top, that'll be fine. And here we are with about 10 minutes left. So Foki does score on his debut. And now Russ is looking tired, so we're going to bring Greenslade on the wrong side of the defence. He's going to come out right back there. We're into the final 10 minutes. And I will be happy with this win and a clean sheet on our first game in the National League. And we're coming up to extra time now. Beardmore playing his socks off. He's the reason we're going to win this game. Him and him alone, it feels like. Unless something comes of this, a ball in. Always beating at the back post. And it's finally a chance for Braintree to get forward. But Greensley gets it easy inside to Tilton. Beardy boy, out wide to Alves. Brilliant play. Alves now has a chance to cut inside, which she does. But it's a poor finish. Always rising, always going over the bar. But that, to me, is an absolutely fine way to start the season. A 2-0 win and a clean sheet. Beardmore being absolutely unbelievable. Mitch Beardmore. Untick the rest of them. I want Beardmore alone here. He's going to get his own praise, saying you were excellent. And apparently that's a bad thing because he's lost focus. So, waste of time that was. But that is a great start in the league. Aboki scoring on his debut, and you'll see one game played, we are down in 4th. So people did outperform us there. Our next game is against Spennymoor, who did lose their opening game here against Solihull Moors 2-1. So if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like, please do subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.